primary ignition.
What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to yet again another episode of Mando Talk. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Keller, and joining me is DJ Foster at Rebel Scum Texan on Twitter. What's up, DJ? You're muted. Can't hear you.
I do that all the time. My bad. I've been over here jamming to our intro music. Shout out again to Jonathan Hare for putting that together for us. But yeah. I'm doing great. I've had a busy week. I'm glad to take the next few minutes and just talk some Star Wars with my good friend Caleb, who has officially made it another trip around the sun.
Dude,
Happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you. It's been a great year. It's been a great year full of Star Wars goodness, a lot of life goals happening too as well. So good year overall, I reckon.
Fantastic.
And I mean, this next year is going to be better because we're about to get Obi-Wan Kenobi in the next couple of months. So
it only gets better when you have Obi-Wan. I have my Obi-Wan Kenobi Padawan Black Series figure on display tonight, and then Caleb, you teased up.
Yeah, I did.
To me, you got a couple new things too.
Yeah, I got a couple new pops. So we're getting a little visual. So if you're listening on podcast, here's a perk to join in live. By the way, YouTube, we're trying to get to 200 subs by the Obi-Wan Kenobi premiere. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, be sure to do that and share our YouTube channel with everyone that you know if you have subscribed. Get people to come on board. Okay, anyway, I wanted to get that plug in. Let me show the Funko Pops. I apologize.
Yes, I'm excited to see Funko Pops. I have a large collection.
Cobb Vanth
Funko. Let's go.
So pretty pumped about that one. Let's go. And
dope.
Awkward silence.
The anticipation is killing me.
Luke Skywalker with Grogu.
Dude.
Let's go. I was very excited to see these two.
I love it.
Saw them in the flesh, and that's how I am. I've said it before on the show.
Yes.
I usually don't buy toys or anything like collectibles, Funkos, or anything offline or online. I exclusively get them offline. I guess that's what I was trying to say. I get them off the interwebs. I like to see them in the flesh, pick them up, check the boxes, make sure that there's no dents or scratches or anything like that, and then I buy them the old-fashioned way. I don't know.
It's so much fun to do it that way, like, honestly. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, I don't know about you, man, I was a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up going to, in fact, I remember when Phantom Menace came out on VHS, my dad took me to Toys R Us, and that's where we bought our VHS tape for Phantom Menace. And then this past week, in the spirit of showing off new toys, I also picked up Padawan Anakin Skywalker from Attack of the Clones Black Series.
That one's...
It's so cool. I got it at my local Star Wars store. Yes, I have a Star Wars store in my area.
So nice.
It is. One day, Caleb, if you ever come to Texas, man, we're going to Holocron Toy Store, my friend.
Let's do it. No, that's a slick figure. Slick costume design for Anakin that they chose to roll with in the prequels.
Very different.
It's incredible.
His robes are different too, his outer robe. It's very different.
Well, look, man, we have a great show lined up for you guys, and shout out to RFB and Bright Suns Media for making it into the chat. We appreciate you being here with us live. We are going to do our Star Wars news report, as always. We are going to start to kind of just share where our mental headspace is with all of the upcoming shows and things coming to us as Star Wars fans exclusively on Disney+. Can't wait to have that discussion. It was kind of a discussion that we had planned on doing when we came back after the Book of Boba Fett, but then Obi-Wan Kenobi just dropped bombs with images and trailers, so we had to kind of put it on hold. So there's some news pieces and updates, things that we're going to discuss later during that segment when we share our headspace on Bad Batch Season 2, Mandalorian 3, Andor, and all that have been out there for a while, but me and DJ haven't really had an opportunity to talk about them because it happened while we kind of took that break after the Book of Boba Fett. So can't wait to get that. And then we also are bringing back Fair Enough this week. DJ's got something that he definitely needs to fall under that Fair Enough category and segment, so I can't wait to get to that.
So blown out of proportion. But we'll move forward.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, let's go ahead and get into our Star Wars news report. And kicking us off, we've got some television news. Christopher Lloyd has been cast as a guest star in The Mandalorian Season 3. The source on this is, in the notes I've got The Hollywood Reporter, but on the images I've got Making Star Wars. I believe it was The Hollywood Reporter. So I got the image on YouTube incorrect, but in the notes it's correct that it is in fact The Hollywood Reporter that brought us the Christopher Lloyd news. So it's 100% confirmed at this point as far as Christopher Lloyd being in this show, because Hollywood Reporter seems to always be on the mark. Except maybe that Darth Maul rumor report last week. Who knows? Maybe not. But DJ, I know this excited you. What do you think of Christopher Lloyd joining the cast of The Mandalorian?
Great Scott! But you have to say Great Scott. You have to. I mean, as a Back to the Future fan, and Back to the Future is literally the only thing I've ever seen this guy in besides Angels in the Outfield. If you guys remember, he was the angel.
Yeah,
in the outfield, so it's really cool to see someone of his acting caliber. Like, I know that we think of him first as Doc Brown, like as in the Geekverse and in like just film in general, but this guy has been around for a long time. He's fantastic. He's a great actor, and I'm excited to see him in Star Wars, which I don't know, like, you think of people who should be in Star Wars, and it's like, yeah, I can see Christopher Lloyd in Star Wars. Like, I think it's really cool. And I can't even begin to speculate what the guy's role is going to be. I don't think he'll be a Mandalorian, but
wouldn't that be something?
That would be really cool. But, whatever he is, I think it's going to be cool. And I'm excited to see him. What about you, man?
Yeah, no, I don't expect a major role. I expect kind of like, is it? I'm blanking on his name. Michael Biehn. Is that his name?
Biehn, yeah, Michael Biehn.
Biehn, who was in Season 2, just kind of like a side kind of background character. He was important as far as that episode goes. It was the Jedi, and he was like the magistrate's general or something. I don't know what his technical title was, but something like that would be pretty cool as far as seeing Christopher Lloyd portraying that type of character in The Mandalorian. Don't expect it to be massive. Don't expect it to be a large role that just goes over the entire season. Yeah. Maybe just one episode kind of thing. That's kind of my expectation on this. And I have to say, I know you said Back to the Future. I'll go ahead and throw this out there for our audience to roast me. I have never seen Back to the Future all the way from beginning to end without interruption. Never done it. Hey, roast me. Come on, bring it. So sad. Roast me.
It's not even like, I'm not even angry. I'm just sad for you. Like, it's such a good trilogy. Like, all three. I mean, the third one, okay, but like all three of them are fantastic. I mean, you got Huey Lewis in the News as music, and then ZZ Top, Texas.
Sure,
I mean, come on, that little old band from Texas makes a cameo in the third one. So it's like, come on, man, you gotta watch it. Now, I do have to mention this though. In the chat, I was cracking up. Bright Suns Media, they said he'll be Imperial Scientist Del Orion, as in DeLorean.
Oh, nice.
Mandalorian, and I would rather his name be something like Orion Del. Because it sounds more Star Wars.
Yeah.
Me. Orion Del.
Well, Bright Suns Media is bringing the roasting. He just said blasphemy. Let's go. I love it.
Man, okay. I told you, you and Maddie need to sit down and watch.
It's not like I don't want to watch it. Like I would love to watch it. It's just never really like become a priority for me, I guess, to sit down, watch this thing because I'm sure it's a great trilogy, but it's not the trilogy. It's not the trilogy.
Right. That's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, get out of here. Moving on to the creator of the trilogy. We got some just kind of industry news here. George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy received the 2022 Milestone Award during the Producers Guild of America Awards. This prestigious award is given annually to honor a person or team's contributions to the industry. Lucas and Kennedy are being recognized together as a credit to their extensive body of work individually and collaboratively through Lucasfilm. I would venture to guess this is well-deserved. Absolutely well-deserved for these two who have massively impacted the industry as a whole. I mean, Star Wars in itself, we've discussed it here before, on and on and on, how much George Lucas, the original trilogy, the trilogy that we just kind of alluded to, impacted the industry forever. It has changed so much. So love to hear this. DJ, I know stuff like this really gets you excited, especially when the maker comes into play. What did you think when you heard about this news? Thank
the maker. I mean, seriously, George Lucas, you can't say enough good things about George Lucas. You know, he's just... He is the guy, you know, he's the man. Like John Williams is the man, but George Lucas is the man. You know what I mean? Like it's the best. And yeah, these are, as RFB said in the chat, well-earned awards. I didn't even know that the PGA existed until this past week. And it was really cool looking at the table that they were seated with. You had Spielberg, Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, Kathleen Kennedy. You had Filoni and Favreau. I mean, it was just like, the tweet that sent it out, I don't even know who sent it out. I can't even give credit, but like you guys have seen it. If you've been on Twitter in the last few days, you've seen this tweet, but it's like the power that sits at this table. Like not even Sheevy Palpatine could unleash more power than this table. That's the Senate right there at that table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a well-deserved award. And, George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy are a powerhouse team together. Throw Spielberg in the mix, and what do you get? You get Indiana Jones, So, anything like that, anytime, you got creators out there winning awards and being recognized, it's a good day. It's a good day.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, you nailed it. I really don't have anything else beneficial to add because you said that perfectly, honestly. But RFB says well-earned awards. Bright Suns Media says Lucasfilm revolutionized the VFX industry. So many firsts belong to them. 1,000%. 1,000%.
Yep.
All right, let's go into our next news piece. We got some video game news. Jedi Fallen Order sequel trailer is expected to arrive at Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. The source on this is Jeff Grubb, who, from the article that I was reading, seems to be a pretty legit video game kind of news scooper. He usually gets the stuff. So I'm not surprised by this at all. I would be more surprised if we didn't get a Jedi Fallen Order sequel kind of trailer teaser thing at Star Wars Celebration Anaheim. And speaking of Jedi Fallen Order, it just so happens that they are putting Cal Kestis's lightsaber at Disney the week before your boy here goes to Disney, and I'm highly debating getting that thing because it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Yes. Anyway, I had to mention that.
Well, I wanted to mention the Legacy Saber too, if you didn't,
Yeah.
And I wasn't even aware of this vote that took place. Like Disney parks did a fan vote,
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and the fans chose the Cal Kestis Saber.
Really? What were the other? Do you know the other options?
I don't.
Man.
I bet Rey's Rey Skywalker lightsaber went in. Of course, then you've got Leia and Luke, and I'm sure Dooku and Maul and maybe Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon or Yoda. I mean, I imagine those are the other ones.
Sure.
So if they're not already there, I can imagine something like Kit Fisto's or Mace Windu's or some other variant of a lightsaber hilt or something. I can imagine something. I don't know, but the fact that this was a vote, that was, and I only know this because Cameron Moynihan, who played Cal Kestis, he tweeted, "Hey, Disney Parks put out the vote, and you answered." And I was like,
nice.
"Whoa!" I was like, I didn't realize that. So that says to me, that this is probably one of the most anticipated Star Wars video game sequels ever.
So glad you were saying that, because that was legit the next thing that I was gonna say.
Good,
like that is that just speaks volumes with how well that game landed for so many people, and also how anticipated maybe this sequel trailer could be at Star Wars Celebration.
Well, I had to Google when it came out, the first one, because it came out November 15th, 2019, and it couldn't have come out at a better time, because what happened 3 months later, we were all locked up, in our homes. So people like me who bought it went and had something to do during the first couple of months of the pandemic. And so it was nice to kind of fall in love with a new era of Star Wars and a new story and see, just the lore expanded. So I think that has a lot to do with why so many people wanted this lightsaber, not to mention that lightsaber is cool.
So cool.
And not to just full blown spoil it for if you haven't played it, but I guess this is Jedi Fallen Order spoilers if you haven't. His lightsaber is actually a half of a lightsaber, so he ends up building the other half of that lightsaber somewhere in the game. So like he ends up with a double-bladed lightsaber before it's all said and done, which is just incredible that, there's a Jedi running around out there with a double-bladed lightsaber. And I'm looking forward very much to the sequel to this. And I don't think its title will be Fallen Order 2. It's supposed to be like Jedi blankety blankety blank, whatever it is.
Yeah, I love that title. That's a good title.
Blankety blankety Jedi blankety Force,
Man, I was even thinking maybe they'll probably keep the Jedi and then the colon and then something new.
Absolutely.
But it'd be cool if they did one day Sith and then something. Oh, that'd be something.
That would be interesting, because then you could get like an Inquisitor story or something along there. You play as an Inquisitor.
Maybe a little backstory for our new Inquisitor and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's not bad. I like
that. I'm already kind of forgetting the name of. Reva,
Reva or Reva or Reva, one of the two, something like that. But
by May 25th, she's going to be known. Dadgummit.
I sure hope so. Jury's still out. Although I need to rewatch that trailer. I haven't watched it in a few days. Yes, I watch the trailers on a regular basis.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in like 30 minutes.
I was listening to a podcast today break down the trailer, and I was like, I gotta watch this trailer again. But no, we got some talk in the chat. The Star Wars Skinny, good to see you guys back again. It says if Galaxy's Edge lets you build a BD-1 at the Droid Builders thing, it's game over. He's right. They have all the money. You get a BD, you can walk out of Galaxy's Edge with a BD and a Cal Kestis lightsaber. That's it. It's game over. I mean, you got it. It's done. And then, Roll Farm Boy asked a question. Caleb, do you have any lightsabers currently? Because I have a couple. So do you have any?
I do, but they're not here. They're at my parents, so I don't have them with me. But they're not like Black Series or collector kind of worthy. They're good quality. It's a Kylo Ren and it's a Skywalker.
Are they like the Force Effects lightsabers?
Yes, I think
that's what I have.
Yeah, I think so.
My brother built his own on a website, so I don't even know the website, but I love his. It's great. It's a little short handle. It changes to every color you can think of. It's fantastic. It's way better than those Force Effects lightsabers. Just gonna be real honest with you.
Yeah.
All right, back to the chat. So good to know that we all have lightsabers here. Hey, let us know if you own a lightsaber and toss it down in the chat. Tell us which one and what color and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
And another question: if you think I should get a lightsaber from Disney, let me know in the chat too.
There it is. Yeah, absolutely. John Hare says this is such an awesome game. You can't wait for Eclipse, and Eclipse has been delayed.
Dude,
we'll be lucky if we get that before the end of the decade.
I'm gonna say it right now. I think we're gonna be lucky if we get it. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. I think we'll be lucky if we get it.
And then Star Wars Skinny also says that Jedi Fallen Order sequel will be called Jedi McJedi Face. Yes. Jedi McJedi Face, starring Caleb Keller.
Hey, I'll go in there and do some work. They can capture my.
I'll put on the weird pajamas all day. Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
There you go. Well, I'm having a great time, man. We're kind of derailing, but that's fun. That's fine. This is great. This is great. Okay, you let us know though. What do you expect to see from this trailer? Do you expect to see it at Star Wars Celebration? It sounds like a no-brainer for it to come then. Everybody knows it's coming, so why not go ahead and do it during that massive massive weekend where we celebrate all things Star Wars. But you let us know what you think. We're probably wrong, like we always are. Anyway, next, television news. Okay, hold on. Little slight spoiler. For Obi-Wan Kenobi. DJ, you kind of had me thinking, because you texted me, right? You texted me, you said something like, spoiler for Kenobi, or kind of like Caleb, this is big, be careful.
Well, I did that because last week you said something like, I'm getting sick of these spoilers. You said, I don't know, you said something like that, and I was like, I'm going to ease into this one. It's like, hey, man, it's a spoiler, and truth be told, it's not the biggest spoiler in the world.
It's not.
But it is a minor spoiler for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it's a very minor. Here it is. The bounty hunter 4LOM, 4LOM, will make an appearance in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and the source on this is Star Wars Newsnet, who we love here. I mean, I love reading all things that they put out, and they usually are on the money. So expect this to happen. I don't expect this to be a major role, though. Again, kind of connecting back to Christopher Lloyd's character, whoever he portrays in The Mandalorian. Maybe he has something to do with getting involved with I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play. Do you have any theories, ideas?
Maybe Christopher Lloyd is 4LOM. You heard it here first. Christopher Lloyd playing Christopher Lloyd playing 4LOM in Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, I mean that's a big shot in the dark, honestly. You know, I mean it'd be kind of neat because we've already seen a character similar to 4LOM in The Mandalorian season 1. So that Z, what was his name? Something, who flew the Razor Crest during that episode where they break the guy out of jail.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I'm blanking on the name.
And then Frog Lady translates through him.
Come on, chat.
Season 2.
Come on, chat. Bring it.
Come on, Rural Farm Boy. Where you at? John Hare. Come on. And I random thing I just remembered. I own a 4LOM bobblehead.
Really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how I obtained it, but I also have Bosk, Boba, and Greedo.
Nice. That's good.
It's one of those things that I don't know how I ended up with them. Actually, I know I got the Boba Fett one. My wife gave it to me. But the others, I have no idea where they came from. So, it's just one of those oh, yeah, 4LOM exists. Oh, and he's currently on the shelf. It's one of those weird things. Anyway, so 4LOM, yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. He's coming. It doesn't seem too bad to me. I would be upset if somebody said something like, Daniel Logan is – no, it would make sense. Like Daniel Logan's playing a younger, Boba Fett in Obi-Wan, or – I don't know, Sam Jackson shows up as Mace Windu. That would make me upset if that was the spoiler. I wouldn't want to hear that.
Oh, definitely not. No.
I'd want to wait on it.
Yeah. This
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is one of those that didn't impact me in the slightest. So I thought it was going to be something massive. Turned out to not be, but it was okay. It's pretty cool reading that. Cool little connections, and it'll change my view on seeing that scene in Empire Strikes Back. I'll be like, oh, hey, he did that back in, or I don't know, 4LOM, he, she, who knows. 4LOM did its thing in Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That's really cool. But you let us know what you think of this bounty hunter.
Q9-0Q. That's his name.
There you go.
Q. I knew it was a random letter of the alphabet we don't normally use. So thank you, RFB, for that.
Yeah.
I don't use Q other than quit or be quiet. Zero. That's what they called him. Zero. They didn't call him Q. They called him Zero. Q is from James Bond. That's the guy who gives James Bond all of his fun tech.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you. Okay.
Anyway, thank you, RFB.
Let us know, everybody, what you think of 4LOM making an appearance in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Okay, that was all of the news that we had planned until today, literally hours before the show. We had some news pieces that DJ kind of sent me links he sent me links of it. He asked if we should talk about it. I said yes, but I don't have enough time to really look at it. So DJ, I'm gonna pass it to you to lead this discussion and to share with the lovely people what else is going on in the world of Star Wars.
Two very quick news pieces. We won't spend a whole lot of time on them because I want to get to our discussion, and I think that you guys who are listening and watching will probably want to stick around for our discussion as well. But, all right, first one is Deborah Chow. Y'all know her, Mandalorian director, also the director for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, spoke with Entertainment Weekly about the return of Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she had the following things to say. I'm going to directly quote from the article, okay? It says, "The starting place of a character is you just start and you look at who has been important to Obi-Wan in his life. And it's quite hard to avoid Anakin/Vader in that scenario, especially coming out of Revenge of the Sith. So really it came out of an evolution of the character for Deborah Chow. It wasn't just to sort of bring him back. So she basically says, we're not doing this just because we can, because it was really like, who means something and where are we at this point in the timeline with Vader? Initial thoughts for me. That's really cool that they're not just bringing him in to bring him in. They're not just shoehorning him in here. You know, they're really doing something careful with what they're trying to, you know, eventually put out there for. So Caleb, the question I'm going to ask you is, does the idea of a character study, whether it's Obi-Wan or Vader, excite you in this, given this quote?
Oh, certainly. I think I know more so I say that. I probably don't. I kind of can expect to see how Obi-Wan is like struggling as far as a character at this moment with the whole Anakin turning into Darth Vader thing. But I would love like that question that you just threw out there toward me about the character study. I want to get inside the head of Anakin at this time and his transition into Vader and how he's viewing Obi-Wan Kenobi in these moments. I know how Obi-Wan's viewing Anakin turning into Vader. He still loves him. He's heartbroken. He's literally depressed, probably. He lost his brother. He expressed that. We saw that in Revenge of the Sith. I know Anakin says, I hate you, yada, yada, yada. But we see that Anakin still has internal struggle as he transitions into Vader. I would love to see his point of view, how he's viewing Obi-Wan in this series. That would be pretty great. Pretty great.
I don't know if there's a story out there that already has explained that, but you did say that Anakin/Vader is struggling with his past versus who he is as Vader. That's all over comic books right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Good point.
Over the last, it's really since, probably 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
There have been numerous Vader stories. And aside from the initial comic run that they put out through Marvel, right after the acquisition in 2012, I think they started rolling those comics out like 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. And then they had the second Darth Vader run where they talked a lot about Kylo Ren, even, and I read a few of those. Those were incredible. So to think of, we're going to get an in-depth look at his thoughts on Obi-Wan. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but, I hope that, and by the way, when Deborah Chow, this quote I pulled, Deborah is talking about Obi-Wan. She's not talking about Vader.
Right.
But here it's nice to think, what is Anakin thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think that's why it excites me too, just like you said, Caleb. And so really, really cool stuff. Okay, here's the second question. How do we think the idea of this being a character-driven story will influence the perception of already existing Star Wars stories? And when I wrote this question, here's what I was thinking. When we get done with the 6-part, series, and it's into June, into July, whenever it actually ends, I don't know, probably somewhere in mid-June, it would be July probably when it ends.
About early July.
We're going to get done with this. Okay, yeah, early July. So we're going to get done with this, and right now there's no season 2, So what's it going to tell us about A New Hope is kind of my thinking. How does that, do you think it's going to change anything? It's like, do you rewatch A New Hope like one more time just in case?
Yeah. Well, I know for me, and I know longtime listeners of the show, Jacob, my brother, it's been a minute since he's been on, but one of the things he's always kind of struggled with as far as Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting again was for him, Darth Vader in A New Hope saying, a presence I haven't felt since, and then he just kind of pauses, always worked so well for him that, he's definitely talking about Mustafar. That's the last time that they ever saw each other. And that is something that Jacob was always like, it would be great to see Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight, but I don't know if that would mess that up. So definitely I'm going to view that differently in A New Hope. I'm going to view Vader saying that differently because now their new little fight or whatever, this throwdown that they're about to have, that they are heavily teasing that they're gonna clash again, that's what Vader's actually referencing in A New Hope. And then also I'm gonna view when Obi-Wan is talking to Luke in his little hut, in his little homestead, I'm gonna view that conversation probably completely different. So I do think that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and specifically this character-driven type story, is going to heavily impact A New Hope. And I mean, Rogue One even did that a little bit. And I can only imagine that this series is going to do it even more so.
Well, yeah, and I think I've thought about this a little bit too. You know, I've thought about what does the conversation between Luke and Ben look like in the hut, you know, on Tatooine, in Obi-Wan's house. For me, I was always a little thrown off by the line post Revenge of the Sith when he says he's more machine now than man. Because Obi-Wan, last time canonically up to this point that Obi-Wan has seen Vader, was with no arms, no legs, no mask. Well, he had one arm on the banks of a lava river. So how would he know he's been suited up? You know, why would he know he's a machine? And then for Vader to say, I haven't felt this presence since. Jacob is 100% right. Up to this point, most of us have thought, yeah, it's Mustafar. That he's talking about Mustafar. But in light of that like glaringly obvious, how does Obi-Wan, I say it's glaringly obvious. It's probably not that obvious, but it's something I've thought about for probably more than a decade at this point because I'm a huge nerd. Yeah. And I also have this Obi-Wan novel, and not to dwell on it for too long, but this Obi-Wan novel is called The Life and Legend of Obi-Wan. Some of you may have read it. If you haven't, pick it up. It's got really cool dual cover art. But if you got to read it because it gives this really interesting look into Obi-Wan's life between 3 and 4, and even into his ghost side of things. So you pick it up and read it before Kenobi comes out because it's going to be one of those things you're like, oh, okay. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on this too long. I know we said be quick, but we could talk about this a long time, I think.
We could.
And this is part of the reason I have Anakin and Obi-Wan behind me tonight because I wanted to discuss this a little bit. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move forward because this is one of those things that you're right, Caleb. It may adjust the way we view certain things, but in another way, I think it will enhance the way we view certain stories. I think we can all, to a certain degree, maybe agree on that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Awesome. Well, let's go on to our final news piece. This is from Bespin Bulletin. We get them a lot around here. And in the last few weeks, they have been dropping news left and right about everything you can think of. I mean, it's insane. Yes. I mean, they're like batting, you know, what is it? 300 right now, 400. I'm bad at baseball.
Hall of Fame worthy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, incredible stuff. So here's what they're dropping. Okay. Today, like literally an hour ish before we started the show, they dropped this new report saying that there is a new Star Wars show that they've actually reported this recently about a High Republic era Star Wars TV show being filmed. But today they reported the show is currently in pre-production, in like the pre-production phase. They're building sets and it is set to begin shooting in June.
Wow.
So that's fast. And not to mention they've got Ahsoka that's supposed to be starting filming in April, and Andor is about wrapped up its filming. So, I mean, Lucasfilm has been just going, 100 miles an hour for a long time now. Now Lucasfilm has yet to actually confirm this High Republic show's existence. So we're waiting to hear whether or not this is even legit, but Bespin Bolton, I mean, has been really getting it, done.
Yeah.
So as of right now, I would personally call them a reliable source.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So it's really kind of neat. So, and just the final thing, at the tail end of this, report, I think I've already kind of mentioned it, but they're going to be dropping some more Mandalorian and Andor news coming up. So be tuning in to Mando Talk to hear our takes on all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But Caleb, as far as this High Republic stuff goes, what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm loving it. I would love to hear some updates, official updates and whatnot for this series or show or movie. Do we know? Or just
in the article it says series.
Okay.
Yeah.
A High Republic series.
I am so far behind on these novels. I mean, having a baby threw me off. I was doing so good. I got through the first one.
Yeah.
I started The Rising Storm, and I just tanked.
Well, I mean, I've got the first one finally hard copied, but I've been too worried about finishing the Legends Thrawn trilogy first.
Ooh.
Sorry, I have to.
Do it.
But yeah, this is very exciting. And yeah, like you, Bespin Bulletin's bringing it, so I'm believing it for right now that we are in fact going to be getting a mystery Star Wars series soon, and maybe they'll announce this thing at Celebration. We were just talking about that earlier with honestly, a Jedi Fallen Order sequel trailer. It would make sense for them to announce it then, but another flip the perspective here.
Yeah,
they have a lot that they need to update us on the currently announced series and movies and things like that. So I know there's some people out there, and usually I'm somebody that's like this, is can we please make sure the stuff that you have announced really lands nicely before we worry about anything else. I know there's an audience out there that feels that way.
Oh, I'm a member of that audience for sure. And I know you are, and I think a lot of our listeners certainly are. So here's something cool to consider. The Tuesday before Obi-Wan premieres is also the same week Star Wars Celebration begins.
Yep.
So Tuesday will be Mando Talk.
Yep.
So be here for that. That's May 24th. Okay. 25th will be Kenobi.
Yep.
Then 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th of that week will be Celebration. There's a chance we may have a one heck of a podcasting week there.
Yeah, we might have to block off that entire weekend somehow.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
Yeah, no. Like on the 26th, too, like we got to do our Kenobi spoiler discussion, and who knows, because that is when Celebration kicks off. Who knows what kind of news comes whenever we're going live there. So, hey, it's going to be great. It's going to be great come summer. Kenobi's hitting, Celebration's hitting. All these kind of trailers and announcements are hitting, so I cannot wait to get to that moment. So let's go ahead then. We're kind of in this excitement mode of talking about the future of Star Wars. Let's go ahead and go into our discussion of way too early predictions, updates, rumors for the upcoming shows that are coming on Disney+. Now, obviously, the first one that probably all of us are still thinking about is Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I do have to say this. We've been talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi for a hot minute now. The past 2 or 3 weeks, it's been trailer breakdowns. It's been trailer breakdowns, trailer reaction, image breakdowns, all of that stuff. Today, rumors, news pieces, you name it. With Obi-Wan Kenobi, we're getting it. But I do just plug. Make sure you go back and check all that stuff out. Me and DJ have been cranking it out as far as giving our opinions and thoughts on the Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff that they're delivering. But, I mean, DJ, anything that you want to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because I want to pay respect to all the other ones that we're getting to, because like we said at the top, we haven't had an opportunity to talk about some of these things because Obi-Wan Kenobi took the spotlight when we came back from the Book of Boba Fett. So anything you want to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi that you're just itching to get off your chest?
I love Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There you go.
Star Wars skinny because of Obi-Wan. Yes. So, no, I don't have anything to add on Obi-Wan. I just want to reiterate what you said. Go back and listen to what we've been talking about the last few weeks, here at Mando Talk. So you can get all the things you need to know about Obi-Wan on those previous episodes.
Absolutely. As far as adding conversation with Obi-Wan goes to this discussion, though, I have to say, it's easily the most anticipated for me of what we're getting this year. Like, it's not even close, not even close. And of course, it's easy for me to say that with that being the next one, but it was that way before we even got to this moment.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. You know, this particular show is more special than Mandalorian or Boba Fett, you know, and I'm just being honest. I mean, yeah, a new bounty hunter show is awesome, and I'm loving every second of it. And Boba Fett, you know, he's Boba Fett. I love Boba Fett, but like, he's not Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, like, you know, and so this is going to be to me, I'm kind of viewing this series as Revenge of the Sith Part 2.
Yeah.
Or A New Hope Part 1, depending on your viewpoint, you know, maybe, you know, actually that might be Rogue One.
Yeah. A little bit.
So maybe Kenobi is A New Hope Part 1, Rogue One is New Hope Part 2, and then A New Hope is Part 3. You know?
There you go. It's its own trilogy. Oh,
gosh, my mind has just been blown with that idea. I love that.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets teased in Rogue One too, so it's all connecting. It's all connecting.
Goodness. Okay, I'm watching Rogue One tonight.
When Bail Organa inevitably apparently shows up in Obi-Wan Kenobi, that'll easily connect to Rogue One when he shows up, and then you name it. It's gonna be great.
That.
It's gonna be great. All right, let's dive into. Let's do the first one as the Bad Batch. Of course, last week we talked about Kevin Kiner giving details of there being a gap in time. Expect an older Omega returning to Coruscant and a political noir composition. Now, here's kind of the thing that has been going on with the Bad Batch recently. Star Wars Insider had in one of its issues that it was going to have a spring of 2022 release window. But ever since, this has reportedly been removed. So one of the things that I am burning to discuss with you, DJ, is I'm still so confused about when we can expect to see this series drop on Disney Plus, because we know we're getting Obi-Wan Kenobi in May. It's going to last until July, and then and already on top of that, you know, you got your Marvel stuff that's coming out too. So are they even worried about the crossover anymore? Are they just going to drop the Bad Batch just whenever, however, weekly, all at once? What are you thinking? I
know that like Netflix's subscriber count dropped recently. And I think that is a due part to the fact that, you know, people are starting to realize I can't justify multiple streaming sources, you know, and Netflix is really, honestly, I'm not a big fan of a lot of their original content. And I don't know if anybody else is, but like, I don't need Netflix anymore unless I want to watch a movie or show that's been out for 20 years, you know? So people may be this is my guess. People may be moving to Disney Plus and realizing they're dropping new stuff. It's things that everybody's talking about. I want in on it, you know? And I think that has a little bit to do with the fact. Now, having said that, I think that means that Disney doesn't care if they're dropping Marvel and Lucasfilm content at the same time. I think I don't think that they care because they're raking in the subs. And speaking of subscriptions, guys, y'all sub to Mando Talk. You know, we were trying to get to 200 before Obi-Wan Kenobi premiere, so help us out with that. But
do it.
Anyway, you know, Kylo Ren says "do it" in The Last Jedi.
Do it.
He kind of just goes "do it." Kind of sounds a little more like Sylvester Stallone. I did watch Rocky 2 today, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, I think that they don't care. Therefore, when does Bad Batch drop? I don't know.
I love it.
I mean, it makes sense that they might do like a late summer, early fall thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's like the only window I really feel like they have open.
Okay,
right?
so here's a follow-up question then.
Mm-hmm.
Are we okay with 2 Star Wars projects being released at the same time?
I mean, as a fan, I don't care, but it does hurt the general, you know, viewer population. You know, they're going to be like, wait, this is also Star Wars. Like, it confuses people. Like, even my wife, when Rogue One came out, we went and saw Rogue One. We weren't married yet. We weren't even engaged yet, but we went and saw Rogue One, and the whole time she was waiting on Rey to show up. she's a general population, not even really a fan. She just goes because she loves me, you know? So, you know, it's one of those things. So she was like, where's Rey? And I was like, this is not about Rey. And like, this is like 30 years before she's even born. And she's like, oh, okay.
So is that Rey's mom?
You know, I mean, and I loved that stuff. That was so much fun. I want to go back to an era of not knowing that Jodie Comer is Rey's mom. It just makes great. Me anyway, so that to say, you know, it may be a little confusing, but it's helpful that Andor's live action and Bad Batch is animated.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, so they'll maybe like pick one and maybe watch the other later. You know, some people. I won't. I'll watch them all on the same day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. As far as the Bad Batch release for me, I know a few weeks, maybe a month ago, I said something about drop Bad Batch all at once on a Fair Enough take.
You did say that.
Yeah, let's not do that, Caleb. You're stupid. Let's do it each week. Let's do it each week. It's just more fun that way, and it's working. You alluded to Disney Plus bringing in the subs, and Netflix kind of losing some. Netflix is starting to realize that they might need to start doing weekly releases because it creates a community. People get to talk about it like we do here. So. Keep doing that with Bad Batch. I don't know what Caleb a month ago was thinking. I hope that they do keep that type of schedule, releasing it weekly.
Yeah, that Fair Enough take was before Netflix, you know, saw that drop. You know, that was before that. So it's hindsight. You know, hindsight's 2020. You know, so nothing wrong with that. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay.
All right. Well, let's do this before we move on from the Bad Batch. It sounds like. Overall, our answer as far as when to expect this thing is we don't know.
Yeah.
But we still want to see it weekly.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into some plot points. Just some speculation and way too early prediction. I've got a heavy and hot way too early prediction.
Okay, do it. I want to hear it. Because I don't have any predictions for this show.
Okay.
So I would love to hear this.
Boba Fett and Cad Bane face off.
Okay, I take it back. I had one prediction for the show.
Way too early, way too unrealistic prediction. There you go. Boba Fett, Cad Bane. We get some more background behind their meetup in the Book of Boba Fett for people that are not like us, that are watching live, that are listening to this podcast. Well, I don't know though, because are people outside of us watching the Bad Batch? That's another kind of reflection question that we could really ask if we wanted to. But still, I think the Bad Batch is a good opportunity. They name-dropped Boba Fett in the first season of the Bad Batch. They brought in Cad Bane in the first season of the Bad Batch. It's a great avenue to do that if they want to, you know, we talked about character study and character connection earlier with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. We could do that with Boba Fett and Cad Bane in the Bad Batch. That's just my one and only really hot take kind of prediction.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people expect it. It's just Cad Bane showed up in Bad Batch. He showed up in Book of Boba Fett. We all knew about the Clone Wars, you know, unfinished episode between them.
Yeah.
Bad Batch seems like the natural place to put it. And then sprinkle in Omega and get a little brother-sister reunion. That's what Star Wars is about. I mean, it's brother.
Yes.
You know, it's family getting together and then celebrating with Ewoks at the end of it. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen in Bad. Oh my gosh, how insane would it be if Ewoks showed up in Bad Batch?
It'd be awesome.
It's like that's like my Tusken Raider on Speeder prediction that came true. You know, like if Ewoks are in Bad Batch, I'll eat my hat. You know, it's just like it's something insane. But that's neither here nor there. Over here, we had Bright Suns Media in the chat saying that they might release on different days, like Wednesdays for Andor, Friday for Book of Boba Fett. I mean, not Book of Boba Fett. I'm so sorry, the Bad Batch. And you know, I guess that'd be okay, but they've already said they're going to drop them new content on Wednesdays. I don't see Disney walking that back. And then thoughts about Star Wars is also in the chat, which is all what we're all doing. That's what we're all doing here. We're just dropping thoughts about Star Wars. They said that they miss Friday release days and they don't know why. I then said, I think it's just that weekend hype.
I miss the Friday release days too. I miss it too.
I do too, because that was my lawn mowing day. I'd get up and watch the show and then go mow the lawn, come home and watch it again. It was great. You know, it was fantastic. So anyway, you know, I don't know when they're dropping this, but you know, like you said, Caleb, if it's week to week, Cool. Plot points, Cad Bane Boba. That's all I've got. I can't think of anything.
Sweet. I like it.
Yeah. I like it. Picasso.
All right, let's go into Andor. So here are some updates on Andor that occurred over the past kind of months. Months. Signed the composer Nicholas Britell. He's going to be the main composer for the series. I don't... DJ, are you familiar with him?
So here's the thing.
I think I read that he was from Succession. He's gotten a lot of recognition for that series. So I'll pass it to you. You're the composer guy here.
I am the composer guy, and you got it right. I did go look up his discography on Spotify. In fact, I'm actually scrolling through it right at this exact moment.
I expect nothing less, DJ.
But
nothing less.
Here's something really cool, though. The Disney connection here. He was the guy who did Cruella. Okay. He did an Amazon series called The Underground Railroad. He did Succession, as you mentioned. He also did the Netflix movie The King with, I believe that was Timothy Chalamet.
Bruh, I love that movie. Let's go. Hyped about this. Let's go.
He also did Vice, which was the movie about Dick Cheney, played by Christian Bale, which I read that Dick Cheney's family was not happy with the way that movie went down. And probably the next best thing he's going to be known for is the Oscar winner from 2016, Moonlight. He did Moonlight. So he does Oscar nominated stuff. Most recently, he did Don't Look Up on Netflix. So he's got a relationship with a lot of these different studios, which I think is really cool. So I think it's a neat thing that he is being brought in here. That being said, I have not listened to his music intentionally thus yet. But I do intend to, because I want to get like a feel. Like it's like if you go to an opera or a musical, they play like the overture themes up front as you're getting seated. That way you'll recognize the musical cues during the actual performance. I don't know if y'all know that. That's what they do. So for me, that's why I listen to other composers' work, so I can kind of get a feel for what they're doing. That's why whenever Ludwig Göransson was, doing Mando, I wasn't thrown off by the music because I'd already listened to the Creed soundtrack. So for me, it was like, this is fine. This is just this guy's style. So similar situation here. I want to know the guy's style. I recommend that to anybody. So for me, I think this is really cool. We got an Oscar, he himself, I don't think he's been nominated. I haven't go that far to look, but his films he's done have been Oscar nominated and have won Oscars.
Yeah.
So the artistic, style of this, it's right there in the mix. That's really cool to me.
Yeah, and I expect him to bring great things to Andor, based off of that list of things that he's worked on before that you just shared. As far as other things, we've got cast additions: David Heyman, Fiona Shaw, and Rosalind Halstead. For me personally, I don't know anything about those three, but DJ, I'll pass it to you. Do you know anything about those three?
Not a clue.
All right, moving on. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to say, in my opinion, this is by far the series that I feel like I know the least about. Like, I feel like I kind of have a general sense as far as where Kenobi is heading, where the Mandalorian is heading, where the Bad Batch is heading, even where Ahsoka is heading. Like, I get a general sense of what can we expect from those shows. I have no clue what we're going to get in Andor, and that really, really, really excites me.
I think it's great that we don't know what we're getting. I mean, we know what we're getting, but we don't know what we're getting. Like it's not even a detective. It's a spy thriller. I mean, it's probably the closest to like James Bond and Star Wars.
That's what I keep hearing.
That might be like a good. Oh, you've heard that? Okay, I didn't know you'd heard that. That's how I'm viewing it.
Okay.
So that's really cool to know that other people feel that way too. I've got a K2SO Funko Pop, and instead of that Anakin, I almost bought a K2SO the other day. I kind of wish I had, but we'll talk about that another time. I've got a couple of I got an Andor Pop and an Andor Black Series figure. So like, it's really cool to as a fan of Cassian Andor, and as Caleb very probably well remembers, my first time on Mando Talk, they asked me what my favorite Star Wars character was, and I was like, it's Cassian Andor. And honestly, it kind of still is. It's a tie between him and Finn, honestly. I rewatched TFA and TLJ this week, so I'm kind of like on a little bit of a Finn kick at the moment.
Sure.
So, but regardless, I think it's really cool that we don't know a lot about this, as you said. That's really fun. That's really fun for me.
Yeah, no, it is. And for us speculators, yeah, we love it. Okay, another update. According to Bespin Bulletin, Andor could arrive in August, which is a lot earlier than I certainly expected. But something to remember, folks, is this has been reported as a 12-episode series. That's 3 months.
Nuts. That's nuts.
3 months. So if it's not going to cross over into The Mandalorian Season 3, then
it can't.
Yeah, it's got to start in August.
But it can't cross over because this takes place before Rogue One.
Right. No, I meant a releasing crossover. Like like Andor needs to finish up before Mando 3 comes out.
It'll go back to that TFA Rogue One situation I was talking about a minute ago. That's people are gonna be like, wait a minute, this isn't. No, I want the guy with the helmet and the little green guy. I don't want this guy. That's what people are going to be saying.
Basically what they did with the Book of Boba Fett. But anyway, I'm just playing. Just playing. Anyway, back to Andor. Back to
episode,
Andor.
though.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But yeah, if it's in fact 12 episodes, the releasing in August kind of seems necessary. Earlier than anticipated, but necessary, which again, I know this is going back to Bad Batch, but that causes some issues again with that whole release thing that we were talking about earlier, because if Kenobi's ending in early July and Andor is pumping it out in August, the Bad Batch has no room to drop 16 episodes
it doesn't.
Weekly in that gap.
Unless they want to drop multiple shows at once. I think Disney understands that the live action content in the grand scheme of things is more important than the animation. I think that we all need to realize that.
Yes.
And if that gets you butthurt, get over it.
It's a fact.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I love Rebels. I love Clone Wars. Heck, I loved Bad Batch.
Yep.
There were moments that lull.
Yep.
There's moments that lull in all of them.
Yep.
Okay. But they are not real life. They're not legitimate people in costumes.
Right.
They're people talking in a microphone like us, only they get paid to do it. Okay.
Yep. No, you're so right.
So it's very different. I still respect the art, but it's not as important.
Nope. At the end of the day, it's a business. Disney's got to make business decisions and put the live action stuff as priority. And I always say this. I use my wife as a test as far as like, how is this reading with the general audience? She has watched every single Star Wars live action show movie with me. She has never seen a second of animated shows. So there you go, folks. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but that's how it is. So DJ, you're 100% right. I do feel like we're getting to the point where we're just gonna have some shows releasing at the same time, and that's okay. That's okay. It's better for us. It's better for us as Star Wars fans, honestly.
It gives us a chance to talk more about what we love, and that's always a good time. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm here for. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So
there you go. Question for you. Is it odd that we keep getting casting news this late into production?
No.
Okay. Explain.
Because, it's not, because the show in and of itself production has been a mystery. And
facts.
The series
itself, yeah.
Exactly. And I don't mind, because I don't mind not knowing plot points. I don't mind not knowing what's going on. With Mandalorian, once Baby Yoda, Grogu, showed up, it was like, this is what the show's about. Boba Fett, we kind of had an idea of what it could be. With Obi-Wan, we kind of know what it's going to be. Andor, this could be anything.
Yep. So
to me, all of these people, they could be in one episode, they could be in 10 episodes. I have no idea. For me, it doesn't matter, that these guys are getting, dropped out here, out of nowhere here, seemingly last minute. I know we're kind of into the home stretch here before Andor's supposed to drop.
Yeah.
So to me, no, it doesn't bother me. Does it bother you at all?
Oh no, not at all. But I did see that discussion kind of occurring online when those reports and rumors were coming out about those casting additions. So if I was seeing it online, I felt like it was something to at least bring up on the show. But no, I'm not worried about it in the slightest. And even if just because that news came out then doesn't mean that it hasn't been a thing for a while now as far as those actors and actresses being in the show. So it doesn't bother me at all. Okay, next question about Andor. Will this be the first live-action Disney Plus series without Luke Skywalker? Prediction mode, I'm going to go ahead and say yes, it will be. We are not going to see Luke Skywalker in Andor at all. What do you think?
Oh, I was about to say, did we see Luke Skywalker in Book of Boba Fett? Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Based on the timeline and the characters, why would we see him? You know why? There's no reason to
I think
see
we
him.
Were asking that question about him showing up in the Book of Boba Fett too.
That's true. And the only way we get Luke if he's like 15.
Yeah.
I actually really don't know because he's 19 whenever Rogue One's happening. And that depends. And if they want to do 4 or 5 seasons of Andor, Luke would have to be 14 or 15. Star Wars Skinny says we're going to see Leia. I think there's been enough. I'm kind of in a weird place on this because I have a small ethical dilemma with the de-aging technology we're using on Luke. There's a part of me that's like, this is wrong. Like the way they explain it in the Disney gallery, there's just like an element of it. It's like, I don't know if I feel like this is something that's supposed to happen. Technology can be dangerous. But that being said, even though I have this weird ethical dilemma, I do think Leia will show up in Andor. She makes the most sense to show up in Andor. I mean, she showed up in Rebels, and keep in mind, she's the same age. Luke and her are both the same age as Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
They're all the same age. So there's a lot of things that could happen in Andor, where we could see Ezra Bridger. I doubt it, but, it's possible. We could see a young Leia. That makes way more sense. And I don't know who the heck would play a teenage Leia. I know a lot of people think Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things would be good for that role. Based on the Stranger Things 4 images I've seen, yeah, I could see that being a possibility, but not before that. Regardless, kind of back to the initial question, Luke Skywalker, probably not. But at this point, they brought him into everything else.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker, the only live action content Luke Skywalker has not been in is Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Solo: A Star Wars Story, and Rogue One. That's it. He's been in everything else live action.
Yep.
I mean, that's nuts. So, and he wasn't even a necessity for Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett. We did not need to see him in those series. We
didn't need to, but it was pretty awesome.
It was pretty freaking cool.
Pretty cool.
That's why I have an ethical dilemma. I don't know which side of the fence I'm on.
Yeah.
It was cool, but I don't like it, but I do. It's just the whole thing. So anyway, and I gotta one of these days have a whole conversation about that because we're already out of time and I can't go into it today. But anyway,
we'll set it. We'll do that one day for sure.
But Andor, probably not. I'm gonna leave my end of things on that for the day. So yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Well, I feel pretty good as far as our discussion with Andor there. So let's go ahead and go into The Mandalorian Season 3. Here are some updates. Axe Woves is returning from Bespin Bulletin. The Mines of Mandalore are expected to be seen from Bespin Bulletin. Jim O'Hare is rumored to appear in the series. The Mandalorian Season 3 is expected to arrive around Christmas. This is from TV Line. All of those updates, what do you think, DJ?
Okay. Axe Woves, that 100% means we're getting a Funko Pop of this guy. Not a Funko Pop, I'm sorry. I meant to say Black Series. Anytime you have a character return like this, they're going to be getting some more recognition outside of the show. And I think this is an indicator that he will. Sasha Banks has already said she is not returning. So it makes sense to bring in this guy. What he's doing, no idea. I imagine he will. You know what? I'll take a stab at this. Here's my new theory. He will be the guy that takes Din Djarin to Mandalore, to go to the mines of Mandalore. That's why I'm going to go ahead and say that now. I think it'd be really cool. Have like a little guide there. I think it'd be really neat.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So the mines of Mandalore, to me, I love this idea of like, he has to be like reborn. Like, I'm a pastor. I'm going to make the spiritual connection. I love the idea of the redemption thing being shown. And I love the idea of like, I think that he should, and the armorer says this, something about how you have to be like dipped in the waters of the mines of Mandalore. And I'm like, okay, so he's got to get baptized. Cool. Like, as a Baptist myself, I'm like, yeah, dunk the fool. I think that's cool. I think that's awesome. So to me, that's really cool. So mix that, Axe Woves, Mines of Mandalore, Din Djarin / Pedro Pascal. You got a good day right there. The only thing is, what does he have to take the helmet off to get dunked or whatever? I don't know, but there's that. I mean, there's going to be more like, if Pedro Pascal doesn't take his helmet off more in this, why did we cast him? I've said this before. I like Pedro Pascal. I like what he does with the voice of the Mandalorian, but like, there's other people who are in the suit more often than him. We kind of need to figure out what we're doing with Pedro, I think. That's just my opinion. Now, to go back to you real quick, Caleb, do you think that there's something there about this that needs to be discussed with Axe Woves and the Mines of Mandalore? Or?
No, I didn't have any thoughts on connecting all those, but the way you just connected it all, that, yes, I'm on board. That's a prediction that I'm 100% behind.
Okay, we'll start. Put that up on the board for next time.
Yeah,
Jim O'Hare, freaking Jerry Gergich from Parks and Rec. Holy crap! If he doesn't break his arm trying to find a burrito in a river, I send it back. No, I'm just kidding. He'll be like a quick cameo. I think he'll just kind of be there. He'll like be a bar owner or something. That's it, unless he's voicing a character. Maybe he's Forlom.
Let's go.
But it's fine. He's cool. I like him. He's hilarious. He's a very talented actor, and I think he'd be great in Star Wars. I think it'd be fun to see someone like him. And your thoughts on him?
I mean, I love him in Parks and Rec, so let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. And I'm like you, small role, but it'll be cool.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to see him show up. Okay, some reflection questions with The Mandalorian real quickly here. First question that I put was, has the Book of Boba Fett impacted our views on Season 3? For me, absolutely.
100%.
Like, I thought that the stuff that we were going to get, or that we ended up getting in the Book of Boba Fett regarding Din Djarin, Grogu, and everything, was stuff that we were going to get in Season 3. And I thought that we weren't going to Mandalore until Season 4. But now, I think we're going, and we just talked about it with the Mines of Mandalore, we're going to Mandalore now, Season 3. This Christmas, this December, whenever it's coming, we're traveling. We're going to see Mandalore again, live action, because, again, we saw Mandalore for the first time live action in the Book of Boba Fett and not The Mandalorian, which completely threw me off. But yes, the Book of Boba Fett has majorly impacted my views, my predictions, what I can expect, what I think I should expect in Season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, me too. I think that what we're going to see in this, based on what we've seen in Book of Boba Fett, is going to be a major, like, remember this, like, think back to this, or people who skip Book of Boba Fett and are waiting on Mando 3, for whatever reason, they're going to be like, oh, I missed something. And they may go back and rewatch Boba Fett. Of course, by now, all the news about Grogu and Luke should have, already hit their ears by this point. But
right.
Even so, there are holdouts, so there's that. It's going to affect it, but I just don't want this whole Mines of Mandalore thing to be like the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings. It'd be really cool to watch Din Djarin fight a Balrog. That would be cool, but it's not something that just needs to happen. I don't want them to be like what we saw in Fellowship of the Ring, if John Rhys Davies wants to play a dwarf, he won't ever play a dwarf again. But if he wants to play a dwarf and he jumps into the mix and he's leading Din Djarin through the Mines of Moria, cool. More Mines of Mandalorian. Mines of Mandalore. Gosh. Okay, fine. But it's not something I think is absolutely necessary in that sense. But it does affect how I see things. Yeah, for sure.
100%. Well, I mean, we could go into like what to expect from Din and Grogu, but really, I feel like we've kind of hit on it as far as going to Mandalore. I think I feel like I maybe have shared this before on the show, maybe not, but I think Grogu is going to like learn the Jedi ways, not by like just diving into training, but from learning from a distance. Like I actually, DJ, I think I texted you about this. Okay. About how he was going to Grogu's probably going to just like learn from Ahsoka or someone just from afar. Like, oh, that's what you need to do. Let me do that. Or he's going to create like his own, this is the way for the Jedi Code. And that's Grogu's escape from, the whole sequel trilogy plot line and how he would kind of intertwine with that. That's one thing that I do expect with Grogu is that he kind of creates his own Jedi path, or he at least begins it in season 3.
Yeah, I could see that. I also, when I say I could see that, I mean the learning from a distance thing, like Rey kind of, the Force awakened within her. And by the time you get to The Last Jedi, she kind of like knows some stuff, which the Last Jedi novel really helps help you to understand that a lot better. So yeah, I could see something happening with Grogu that's similar, but nothing too on the nose.
Yeah.
That's about it for me on that.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, let's get to that. Let's get to that. Fair enough. That we teased up at the beginning of the show. We need to go ahead and hit that DJ definitely needs to elaborate on because it blew up a little bit on social media. So DJ, are you ready to to do fair enough?
I guess. I mean, this is like I don't even know. Let's just roll the tape.
Roll the tape. Let's go.
Fair enough. Situation, Captain.
Man, we got the official Din Djarin fair enough. It's canon now. Shout out to DJ for getting that sound mix, but DJ, let's hear it. Let's hear your fair enough.
It's not, Caleb forced me into this, first of all. I need to put that out there. I have said that this has been totally blown out of proportion. Okay. The Producer Guild Awards, Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy were there, as we talked about earlier. I'm going to do this fast because I got called a lot of bad names on Twitter. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I didn't even mean it the way people are taking it. So here's what happened. I got in the replies, I should say, of this initial tweet of the picture of if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's Lucas and Spielberg, and they're right here. And then in between them is Francis Ford Coppola. But off to the right-hand side is Filoni and Favreau. Uh-huh. And I was like, and my first thought was, it's really cool to see these 4 directors who are like best friends in their respective worlds, kind of seated together. And I thought, man, Filoni trained under Lucas and he was kind of like his Padawan and Lucas was the master and taught him all this really cool Star Wars stuff. And like now he's an executive at Lucasfilm and George has kind of moved on from that. And then you look over at Favreau and he's been like at the cusp of all this really cool cutting edge technology. And he's such a great filmmaker and he's a student of film. And, Spielberg's that way too. He's a student of film, John Ford films and Akira Kurosawa, and Favreau loves those guys too. And so I sent this tweet out and all the tweet said was, well, I did kind of welcome it, I guess, a little bit, but I said Favreau and Filoni are the new Spielberg and Lucas, and then I added an image of the guy that says "changed my mind."
Oh gosh, yeah.
And listen,
and people wanted to change your mind immediately.
One person said, and I quote, "You have no mind to change." And initially, I took that as, "Oh, you agree with me," and then I looked at it later. It's like, oh, that guy says I have no brain. And I was like, thank you. So it got to a point where I was getting so many notifications. I was like, I'm just muting this whole conversation. So who knows what it looks like by now. I got to a point where I was just trolling people and, a couple people were having, some honest conversations and I appreciated those. But here's what I meant by that. I just appreciate what Favreau has helped bring through Mandalorian and the volume and the steps that it took to get there. And with Spielberg, as kind of a parallel here, Spielberg went through similar things like with Jaws and Close Encounters and E.T. And I just thought, this is one of those things that, like, he's a visionary director. I feel like Favreau is a visionary director, and you don't have to agree with that. That's fine. But that tweet got blown out of proportion. I wasn't saying that they're going to just jump in and do all the things they did, which is what everybody took that as. And Caleb's just over there giggling. He's just like a little kid, man. Just like, and I can't even think about what else it could really be. It was just one of those little things that I was like 4 people are going to see this. And no, like 4,000 people.
I've got this tweet pulled up, and people on YouTube can see it, and I'm afraid to scroll down to see the replies.
Don't scroll.
Let's just not even.
Don't scroll.
But there's the tweet. Visual audience, those of you on YouTube, there's the tweet that DJ got some hate for.
I need to go back and kind of look at this because I haven't looked at it in a few days. I want to see. I'll be able to tell you guys exactly how many people saw this tweet in just a second. So right now, this tweet, oh my goodness, it's been seen by 13,000, almost 14,000 people.
14,000 people think that you have no brain to change.
Gosh, and it just went up as I'm looking at it.
Follow him at Rebel Scum Texan for some more great stuff.
Listen, well, okay.
No, I'll say this. I saw what you were saying. I know you. You're just saying that they're doing a great job with their roles in Lucasfilm right now, and they work well together, and they're impacting so much around them. I see what you were saying. I see what you were saying 1,000%.
Well, if you want to see vulgar slurs and other malicious tweets, go check the replies. And you don't have to defend me. That's not what this is about. This is just one of those things that was like, why did this go the way it did? And, I think it has a lot to do with the change my mind photo. I'll be real honest with you. But, I kind of opened myself up for that one. So that's on me. But, it is what it is. I love this one. This one reply right here just says, LOL. Just LOL. And it's funny, but also it's somehow mean. I feel like I'm in middle school, when I look at most of these Twitter replies. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm back at the nerd table, and the cool preppy kids are over there, with their Abercrombie t-shirts and what was it, freaking Hollister cologne on, and
Spielberg and Lucas are so Abercrombie and Fitch. Favreau and Filoni are like Hurley and DC and you name it. Let's go.
They're the punk rock kids who are like putting on the eyeliner, and they're like, nobody understands me, and one day I'm gonna make a TV show that's gonna blow everybody's mind. And everybody's like, shut up, you nerd. And then here we are. Basically, I'm a nerd. And I love all 4 of these filmmakers.
All right, well, listen, to that I say, burn enough.
So anyway, that's all. That's it.
That's the show, guys. That's the show. No, listen, we appreciate everybody checking us out yet again. Here live, if you were with us live, or if you're listening on the playback on podcasts or YouTube, you name it, wherever. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for doing that. I can't wait to do this again. It's going to be 2 weeks because, like I said, I'll be in Disney next Thursday. So me and DJ haven't really even had a conversation as far as if we're going to be able to put out something next week. If not, that's okay. We'll definitely be here the following Thursday after I come back from my visit at Galaxy's Edge.
You'll have to do like a quick little live report from Galaxy's Edge or something.
Should I?
I think you should do something and like put it on our TikTok or something. That way,
at Mando Talk.
At Mando Talk, yeah. I mean, do something like that so our folks can see what you're up to. Like do a whole vlog. Just do a vlog.
Like a vlog of me going through Galaxy's Edge for the first time.
Get you a selfie stick. Make it look like a lightsaber. You'll be the nerd there.
Yeah.
Tell people to watch Mando Talk.
Oh, I'll be wearing a Mando Talk t-shirt through there. Self-promotion.
Promoting.
Let's go.
You're going to have to. You got to do it.
No, I got to at least record my reaction after I get off the Falcon for the first time.
Or just get someone to film you when you see the Falcon.
Oh, I'll probably be bawling my eyes out.
I plan on crying when that happens for me. I cried last week talking about The Force Awakens,
Hey, that was a great episode, though. So if you haven't heard or watched last week's episode where we did trailer rankings, go back and check that out. Some of the best Mando Talk content to date.
It's a lot of fun. That was so much fun.
Yeah, and I was telling you this, DJ. We had a great night. As soon as we got off the stream last week, though, Kentucky basketball just decides to blow it and ruin my day. But whatever. It's a new week. It's a new day. And we appreciate you checking us out. Let's get out of here. We hope that you have a blessed weekend, the rest of your week, and we'll see you the next time that we do this thing. If it's not next Thursday, just know every Thursday at 6 p.m. we do this thing live, and you can always check us out at Mando Talk, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, let's
Discord.
And Discord. There's a link in the description. Let's go. All right, let's get out of here. We hope that you have a blessed week. And as always, we have spoken.